Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of the Caregiver and Spoonie podcast. I'm your host, Jordan Banderas. And before we get started, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any episodes of the podcast. And let's go ahead and get into today's episode. Now, real quick, I have this question here for you. And I know that I ask a lot of questions, but I received some feedback and it's like, oh, keep going. We'll keep going then. Now, the question I have here for you is, have you reached rock bottom? Now, I have heard a lot of people say, especially right now because they're either off work or they've been laid off, or a lot of things have changed recently because of recent events. And one of the things I keep hearing is like, oh, I have reached rock bottom. I'm at rock bottom. And one of the things that happens when you reach rock bottom is that it's the best thing that can happen to you. And let me tell you why. Why is the best thing that can happen to you? Because once you reach rock bottom, literally you can't go any lower. That particular for what I found online, or for what I found in the research, is that particular phrase comes to when they used to build the skyscrapers in like New York and everything. They had to reach rock bottom, like the bedrock. They had to go all the way to bedrock. That way it can support all the weight of the building that they were building at that time, or that they still do, Like you have to hit rock bottom in order for you to build a skyscraper. It has to be stable. It has to have like literally stability, because if you build it on sand, which is pretty much what you get before you reach rock bottom, then it's just gonna sink. It's not gonna give the correct stability, and you can't go any lower. Literally, you can't go any lower in life once you reach rock bottom. And the reason why it's so good for you to realize that this is actually a good part of your life, of the best part of your life, is because once you get that low, you can't go any lower. You really can't. Like, you can't. You already hit rock bottom. You hit bedrock. You can't break it. You can't keep going down. You might feel like it, but you're not. You're just stuck in the same places, on the same mentality, on the same environment. So what happens when you hit rock bottom is that the only way that you can get out of it is to go up. And I'm going to talk about my story in this situation, or how I did. Is that pretty much when I hit rock bottom, like, for example, my wife was sick. My wife got sick. My wife got so many diagnoses at the same time. She had to be hospitalized multiple times. We lost our business. I was stressed. Somebody stole my wife's pills, and that created literally, or that pushed my PTSD to come out to the surface. So what else? I was at rock bottom. I felt like I was at rock bottom. So what did I have to do? I had to start. I literally had to say to myself, like, you know what? I'm at the lowest point in my life. Like, we were living with our in-laws, which I love them, but it's not like the best living situation. It wasn't like the best living situation. So what the fuck do I have to do? Instead of keep going down and try to dig any lower, which I couldn't. I mean, I was literally living in a basement. That's literally like the lowest where you can go in a house, if you want to see it that way. I had to go up. I had to climb. I had to literally build the fucking new life that I want right now, the new life that I'm having right now, and that made me realize that once I reach rock bottom, the only place that you can go is up, unless you want to stay down. If you want to stay down, that's on you, because at that point, once you reach rock bottom, all you need to do is start building your new life. You have to literally save yourself, climb up, get the strength you need, because once you're that low and you realize, like, oh shit, I don't have any lower to go, and then you look up, you see the hole, you see the opening in the hole, you see the fucking light. You see that fucking light, and yes, you're gonna have to climb a lot. You're gonna have to climb for years, probably. You're gonna have to climb for months, weeks, years. It could take a long time for you to get out of that hole. But this is the important. This is where you find your true strength. This is where you find your true self. This is where you find what you're made of. And the most important thing, and this is what I want you to understand, that when you reach rock bottom, you can only go up. And when you start building from rock bottom up, you're building a new life with stability. You're giving it the stability. You're not building on sand. Like, I'm gonna give you this example. This happened, I think it was last year, and I read about it the other day as well. The Millennium Towers. I think they're in San Francisco. It's a multi-billion-dollar structure. It's a multi-billion-dollar condominiums. You know, like they're millions of dollars. They're like $3 million, like the cheapest, I think. They were built. It took billions of dollars. Like it was like it's supposed to be like the best of the best skyscrapers in the West. What happened? Guess what? They only build, or they only dig like 800 feet down. They didn't go 2,000 feet down. Where they reach, in this case, bedrock. And what happens when you do that is that you're building on sand. When you build a structure that is that tall, because it's a fucking skyscraper, it's like, I can't remember right now exactly, but it's tall. Let me just tell you, it's a skyscraper. It's tall. But because of the weight and how tall that is, and you can actually Google it if you want to go that deep on this story, because of how tall it is and how heavy it is, they had to dig all the way to bedrock, 2,000 feet down, so they can reach bedrock and it has the right stability. But because they didn't, because the construction crew didn't do it, or the whoever designed it or whoever decided to build it didn't do their right job, they didn't do what they were supposed to, guess what? The fucking structure is sinking. It's like the literally at any point, any fucking earthquake is gonna make that shit crumble. It's gonna be flying like pancakes, literally, like it's gonna be stacked like freaking pancakes. And I'm not saying like, and I understand that this is bad for the people that lost all their money. I mean, fuck, it's not their fault. It's the fault of whoever built it, because they didn't go all the way down. But what I'm trying to say in this story is that when you don't build in something stable, then you're actually going to reach rock bottom, because your life is not stable. But once you reach rock bottom, you hit that bedrock, all you can do is go up, build up, and you're going to have a stable fucking foundation. You're going to have the fucking stable foundation that you need in your life, so you can keep climbing up, get out of that hole, and live and do whatever you want to do. You can live the life that you want. You can do whatever you want. You can have the health that you want. You can actually, like I have said in other episodes, maybe your health is not gonna be 100% better, but if you decide to get out of the hole that you're on right now, maybe you're gonna improve, because the stress that you have right now, especially right now, with the stress that's going on around, because you might have lost your job, you might have lost your business, your income might have been reduced. I mean, that's gonna create stress. And stress can cause disease because of all the cortisol. Your body might not be used to it, and it can cause inflammation. And this is something that you can Google. You can actually talk to doctors about it. If your doctor is good, they should know about it. So like I was saying, like, all you can do is go up. This is pretty much what I did. Once I hit rock bottom, I was stuck in that fucking hole. I was looking down. I was just looking down and saying like, fuck, I'm at rock bottom. What else is there for me? Like, there's nothing that I can do. And all of a sudden, I decided to look up. I saw that fucking hole, the opening of the hole, and I'm like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm not gonna stay there. I'm not gonna stay here. I'm gonna climb up. And it was hard. It took me years. I'm not gonna lie, it was fucking hard. Like, I had to go to therapy. I had to improve myself one way or another, physically, mentally, emotionally, and nutritionally. I guess that I think that should be like somewhere, like almost like not in the Bible, but like somewhere it's like almost like the ethos in life or something. But anyway, like you once you start climbing up and you start building your new life, now you have to understand, like, you're building from a stable foundation. You're building from bedrock. You went 2,000 feet down, so now you can start building your new life little by little, no matter how long it takes, because this is what's gonna make you feel better about yourself. Building your life little by little, getting to one point to the next, taking your time. It can take months, it can take days, it can take years. Take your time. Understand this. You have to take your time. And when you're doing that, when you don't rush, you're gonna be able to find your true strength. You're gonna look down and you're gonna say like, shit, I have climbed all the way down from there, or I mean, I have climbed from all the way down to here. Where am I right now? Now I know I can keep going. I have a stable foundation. It's like, this is like my like, if you like video games, this is gonna be my checkpoint. So if I fall, I'm not gonna go all the way down. I'm just gonna stay here at this point where I'm at. So I'm gonna keep climbing, and if I fall, I'm gonna land on my checkpoint. Let's say like you're able to exercise or something, or you're able to minimize your chronic inflammation or whatever you're facing. Let's say that's a checkpoint. You fall again, you stay there, and then you keep going up. You're gonna fall. That's the thing. You're gonna have to understand this. You're gonna fall, but that's what makes you strong. When you fall, you get up and you keep climbing. You go up. Don't let life keep bringing you down. You're strong. And I'm telling you this from experience. I'm not just talking out of my ass. That's not what I'm doing. I'm talking out of experience. I know how hard it is. I've fallen so many times, but I keep climbing up. I have fallen so many fucking times that there were times that I wanted to quit, and I have talked about this, where I wanted to quit therapy. I wanted to quit what I was doing, and I was like, you know what? No, I have to keep going. I'm not doing this just for me. I'm doing it for my wife. So you might have somebody. You might have to have your wife as well, which I have talked about in other episodes. It's very important for you to have a wife to give you the strength that you need, because when you have a wife, and you're gonna find your true strength, because you're not doing it for you, you're doing it for somebody else. And when you say that, you know what, I'm gonna do it for that person and for me, it's gonna give you so much fucking power, so much fucking energy, so much fucking strength, that you're gonna be able to climb out of that hole. You're gonna build your new skyscraper, and you can reach the fucking sky and do whatever you want, because you're gonna understand this. You're gonna understand that there's no fucking limit, because you dig yourself into that hole that is like 2,000 feet down, all the way to bedrock. Now you climb 2,000 feet up, and then you keep climbing, and you build your fucking skyscraper that is, let's say, like, I don't know if they're that tall. It's bigger than the Burj Khalifa. Let's say it's like 50,000 feet up. Like, whatever your goal is. Like, you might say like, oh, it's a big goal. Well, keep climbing, keep building that fucking skyscraper, because when you look down and you understand that you dig yourself out of bedrock, then you're gonna be able to climb all the way up to whatever the fuck you want. There's no limit for what you can do once you understand, once you find your true strength, your true power, and yourself. Because what's gonna happen in this situation is that once you look down, and this is one of the things I understood about myself the other day. Like, I was like, gosh, I feel like I looked down on my skyscraper, and I was like, fuck, I dig myself out of there, and I'm all the way over here. And I'm not saying it to brag or anything like that, but I'm like, you know what? That's a fucking big accomplishment. I need to be proud of myself. And you're gonna become a completely different person, because every time you build a new level, like in this case, you're gonna start with the basement, sub level, however many sub levels you're gonna start with. So you start building sub levels, you start building the foundation, sub levels, whatever, however you decide to build your skyscraper. You're building all these levels, but don't move on to the next level until you're comfortable with the current level that you're on. Because if you don't feel stable on the level that you're on right now, the next level, you're gonna crumble. Or when you move on to the next level, you're gonna crumble. You're gonna fall. And sometimes it can make you fall bad. It can make you feel bad about yourself and things like that. But this is what I'm saying. Like, this is when you become a different person, because you learn how to literally see things from a different perspective. Like, you know what, this shit didn't work, I'm gonna try a different way. I'm gonna add this into my life. I'm gonna add, like in my example, or in my case, better nutrition. So I have to understand what my body likes, what doesn't like. Not a lot of people do that, because like I used to be like, food is food and I eat food. So I will eat anything, you know? But then I realized, like, you know what, like, there are things that I can't really eat because it makes me sick, things like that. So you might do something like that, or you might want to get ripped, you know, like get stronger. So you're gonna have to change the way that you eat one way or another, because you can't keep eating the same junk and try to get muscle. Believe me, that's something that I try, and look at me, I'm not muscly, but I'm gonna get there. So you have to become a new person, and even if you don't notice it, you will become a new person, because you see things from a different perspective. You see things from the bottom up, instead of looking just from the top and keep looking up, like, because we're never at the top. This is one of the things that, at least with me, I always thought that I was at the top, but I was never at the top. I was always at the bottom. And once I reached rock bottom, I realized, like, shit, I was never at the top. So now I can build my life from the bottom up. And that's when you become a completely different person. You might become outspoken, like in my case, I'm very outspoken now. You might become more brave at talking, more conversational, more ready to stand up for your values, ready to stand up to people that used to oppress you. You know, like, there's so many things that you're gonna see in yourself when you become a different person. But one of the biggest things that I can tell you right now is that a lot of people will not like you. For one fucking reason or another, they will not like you. They might not like you for one thing. They might not like you for another. They might not like the new you because you act differently. They might not like you because you tell them to not be mean at you. You know, there's so many things that they're not gonna like you for, and that's fucking okay. That's one of the things that you have to understand. That's fucking okay. That doesn't fucking matter to you, because you are you. If they don't like you, then you don't need people like that. And this is what being at rock bottom is gonna teach you. It's hard. Like I said, anything I talk about this on this podcast is hard. So this is gonna be hard, but it's so worth it. And just remember, if you have a good support system, like I did with my wife, that's actually going to help you. So create a good support system, reinvent yourself as many times as you need to. And if you realize, like, shit, I'm at rock bottom, remember, the only thing that you can do is go up. You cannot go any lower. So at this point, start building your new life. This is where you can start over. And that's pretty much what I had for you guys today. I hope you guys are enjoying the episodes. I really, really like your feedback. I've been following your feedback. I've been trying new things in regards to your feedback. And I think I already talked about this. There's big changes coming to the podcast. which I'm really excited about. And thank you for that. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your feedback. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. And if you want to share your story anonymously, you can send it to me at the Caregiver and Spoonie@gmail.com. You can also post it on the community page on Facebook, so you can get the support that you need. If you feel like you're not being supported right now, the community is there to support you. And thank you for everything. And don't forget to share, because we want to make this grow as well. It's not for me, this is for all of you guys. So let's make this grow as much as we can, organically, that way people can actually find the support that they need. And like I said, this is for everybody. It doesn't matter if you're a Spoonie, if you're a caregiver, or not. And right now, because of everything that's going on, I think you're either a Spoonie or a caregiver, because you either have to take care of your family, or somebody has to help you take care of yourself. Or if you're neither, probably you're taking care of yourself, so that makes you a caregiver and also a Spoonie, because if you're getting stressed, that can make you sick. So anyway, thank you for everything. Thank you for all your support, and I'll see you until next time. And I leave you like always, as always, take care of yourself.